Podcast, guys. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the StreamGeeks Podcast. Today, we're talking about our top must-see companies at the 2019 NAB Show.
Welcome to the Post Show Podcast with your hosts, Paul Richards, Tess Protesto, and Michael Luttermoser. Let's talk shop.
Hey, guys. Welcome.
Welcome.
How's it going, NAB 2019 attendees?
We're really excited about this show. Every year, our team flies out to Las Vegas to host some of our own live streams, but also catch up with many of our colleagues and peers in the industry. So I'm super excited to see so many of you guys out there and meet with you in person and just kind of catch up with the industry, from Blackmagic Designs to New Tech to what Microsoft and Google and Facebook and everybody. Amazon's going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody there. So what are you guys most excited about? Let's start with last year just really quick. What surprised you the most, just of everything? What's coming to mind?
Do you want to go first? Or?
You can go first.
Okay. What surprised me the most last year at NAB, I guess, was just the sheer amount of people and the amount of people that stopped by our booth, the amount of people we met who kind of knew about, I don't know. I had never been in a situation where you go and people are like, oh, I know you guys. And you're like, oh, you do. Hi, it's so-and-so from the chat. So that was kind of an eye-opening experience for me.
Yeah, that was fun. How about you, Mike? What was that? Wasn't your first foray either. You had been, was that your second, or was that your first show? That was your first NAB?
NAB, yeah, that was my first one, and then Infocom was the second round. The thing I was most surprised about was the amount of equipment and what you're into. So as a photographer, they had all these lenses.
Yeah.
So they have everything from hard equipment to software to everything in between, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I know that you really like the Adobe Jesus and the Adobe.
Yeah.
That was like
you said on the show, you could just if you had time, you just hang out with them as they do stuff live, because they do really interesting projects.
I kind of wish we had more time to do stuff like that, because I saw them doing stuff in Premiere.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, you can do animated titles in Premiere? And it just got released and blah, blah, blah. And, if you really want to be cutting edge, I mean, the amount of learning that you could do is just incredible. Now, Tess, you got your chance, and we got a heck of an upgrade this year, but you got your chance last year to get on the main stage. And what I mean by that is the Grand Central show. Mm-hmm. So you got on stage there. I got on stage there.
Is that Broadcast Beat?
Broadcast Beat. Yeah. Ryan Salzar is the host there. He runs around and interviews people on site, but he also hosts this show. And Tess, you got to get up on stage. Were you scared?
Yeah, that kind of aids into what I was referring to. Just never in your life will you be part of a scenario like that, except for this one time a year when you go to this one trade show, and there's hair and makeup, and it was just the funnest day ever for me, because I just love all that lights, camera,
fun.
action.
I remember the makeup too, being really okay. There's a makeup artist hired for this.
Yeah, Paul got makeup.
It's legit.
Yeah, that does get you in the mood. So we got our makeup on, we went on stage, and that was fun. And now this year, Tess and I are actually hosting 6 panels, and it was really, great, because we kind of get to dictate what the topics are going to be. So we chose LinkedIn Live.
That's my most excited one.
Yeah, that was really smart. We chose. What else did we choose? LinkedIn Live, broadcasting in school clubs. We chose
eSporting. I'm excited for that one too.
Esports. Then we chose regular sports and church streaming. So we got a lot of great partners and people that are joining us for those, which I'm really excited about. And now let's talk about what we're expecting in 2019. Leading into 2020 here. eSports obviously becoming more and more important. In fact, they're building a eSports stadium in Philadelphia. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. Anthony on Twitch was just asking us about if we had heard about that.
Yeah, crazy.
Just did this weekend, yeah.
A legitimate stadium dedicated to esporting. Like, how cool is that? We're definitely gonna have to.
It's real. It's
we
here.
should be talking to them
it's here
now
It's
about, hey, you need to be outfitted with cameras.
I know.
Yeah.
Really, we should be talking. Well, I guess it's going to take a while to build a whole stadium, so there's probably
Mm-hmm.
time for the cameras to come in. But yeah, it's true. And so you got that going on. I talked about the radio. North Hall has traditionally been like radio, and it always surprised me for the past 4 or 5 years I've been going to the show, because I would always walk through North Hall to get to South Hall, is where our booth usually was. Now we've been in Central for a couple of years. And I'd see these giant radio station things and all this radio with no cameras, no streaming, no video, just audio. And I couldn't believe that there was a whole thing for just radio.
I think that's kind of how it started with the NAB show.
I would
Yeah, I
say
think it
so.
did.
We're kind of the invaders that have taken over.
And so now they've kind of, it gets smaller and smaller, and they've got this innovation area, which I think if we have time, we should probably check out. But it's generally, I'm thinking like people that are coming up, like VidPrezzo. Ryan Brenneman always talks about this, was there, the innovations, and they got purchased by Facebook for who knows how many millions of dollars. And then there's also the eSports. And where did they stick them? In the radio hall. They were like, all right, radio hall, like you've got all this extra space. eSports is taking over there. Like I could see eSports, I don't know, 2020 having its own hall.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's, so right now we're in a very much a transition stage where it's like, okay, eSports taking over, or at least getting more space. Because like last year, was there even an eSports space at all?
I don't remember there being a pavilion. I'm sure there were representatives there.
There was more
We
representatives.
would have known if there was an e-gaming pavilion, right?
I think so, yeah.
Well, the other thing I think is interesting is that like Amazon's going to be there, but it's AWS, Amazon Web Services. So I don't know if they're actually going to be bringing Twitch, because if they were bringing Twitch has their own convention.
Yeah, they
Right.
have
about that.
TwitchCon, yeah.
Multiple Twitch cons. They don't need.
You know what? I think last year it was the Facebook Live Pavilion.
It was.
I think that's what the focus was. But we couldn't even find it. Or
It was on the upper
yeah.
North Hall. They made space for it.
I know
but-
Tess and I
It
went
was on
like
the outside of.
wild goose chase.
Yeah. Well, we eventually found it because that's where Andrew Haley was.
Oh, really?
I was after like doing 30,000 steps. We were like, oh, go over
30,000
here.
steps.
Go over here. It was
You
like
got to have
10
your Fitbit when you go on these things.
10 miles. Like
Anthony, I believe it's Anthony in the chat's asking who's in the esporting booth. I believe it's Checkpoint Radio, and there's let me look it up. Something with a B.
I thought it was like somebody called like Experience XP or something.
Well, that's Checkpoint XP.
Oh, okay.
What type of company are they?
They have like a podcast, if
Okay.
I understand, about esports, and I think they're kind of well known
Interesting.
in that area.
Yeah, I mean, and the real beat of the street, if you will, is the living, breathing people that come up to you and they're like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm excited
Yes.
about. This is why I decided
Yeah.
to fly out to Vegas. And that's when you start to learn, like, oh my gosh, this guy has a show about Dungeons and Dragons and he's coming to NAB. Or, you know, like, I think it gets more and more.
Beasley, I think.
Ooh, nice.
Beasley?
Wait, I may be making that up.
But I think every year it gets more and more like, really? Like it gets more and more like, wow, like they really came all the way to Vegas for that. And it's going to be like a golf show. I mean, I really do think this is going to be the year where it's like, wow, these people have left, a lot of these people have left their jobs that they didn't like.
Yeah.
They started something kind of crazy. It's, you know, XYZ show. And it's crazy that they are able to monetize it on YouTube or Twitch. You know, Twitch, I think, is opening up a lot of doors for monetizing and letting people follow their dreams. So I do see this as the one where we have to keep our ears open about like what are they doing with this technology? And I think I always come away with like pages of notes like, oh, this is going to be big. Oh, that's going to be big. Oh, there's a lot of people doing
Yeah,
this.
the meetings when we come home are usually pretty crazy.
International always impresses me. The international people
International.
that we get to meet.
Yeah, that's
And,
true. They fly over from all over.
Yeah, you're just like, wow,
It's really important to
All-
them.
all meeting right here in Las Vegas.
It is the biggest technology show. Now, in Europe, they do have the IBC show, which is easier for some people to get to, which you guys will be going to soon enough, which is great.
Can't wait to meet all our European friends. That'll be a lot of fun.
So we got all that going on. And yeah, I mean, I hate to say that my conclusion is I need to hear what these people are going to say, because it's almost as if the technology, especially in the media streaming space, has gotten to the point where you just don't know what to expect anymore. Like, we've worked with everybody from like a guy who is live streaming paintball to, I mean, yoga. It's a big deal. It's like crazy. It's like, it's all over the map. It's very difficult to decide or try to put your finger on, you know, the pulse. But if you want to, if that's your goal, if you want to see which way you're going, and then, you know, that's our goal. We want to know the pulse of the industry and the beats so we go. And of course, we're there to demonstrate our products that have a part in that overall pulse. But if you're just an educational organization or a church or XYZ, you also can just kind of take your own approach and say, you know, you do a little research, you know exactly what you want to see. But there's so many people, I'd say today more than ever too, that have bought the wrong thing or, you know, made a mistake purchase and then wished that they just would have gotten their hands on it and saw it and talked to the person that sells it, and could have saved way more money than the whole show, you know, would have cost them, right?
Definitely.
I think there's a lot of that, where a lot of people are like, I mean, I'm that way. Like, I bought weird little things for the studio that I'm like, oh, this will solve a problem. And then it's like, that does not work at all.
I was about to tell that story too. It's about some of the stuff that we buy. And you're like, why didn't I get the good one? You're like,
I know.
Come on.
That happens a lot, where I get the cheap whatever. And I'm just like, why? Because now I have to clearly buy another one. That happens way too often. But also in the tech space, a lot of times you just think, oh, this is good. Like, one time I bought like Bluetooth headphones, thinking that like Tess and I could like you could wear one, I could wear one, and then we'd be able to hear like the far end. That did not work.
The wireless ones.
Yeah, remember those? Those did not work. So I mean, just little things.
They
all the
should
time.
have, in theory.
In theory, it could have worked.
It just didn't.
It just didn't work with the workflow. And then, so I could have easily talked to somebody from DPA Microphones or Shure and just said, hey, this is what I'd like to do. You know, because when someone's on the showroom floor, they're a serious company. They take their job seriously, and they're going to tell you what like they recommend to their customers, because their customers expect things to work when they get them. And so it is a little bit of a level up from like finding the cheapest solution on Amazon. But it's also a place when the biggest companies in the world release, you know, what they feel is going to be the game changer. So you're in the midst of like this melting pot of, you know, game changers in the streaming industry.
So let's cover real quick who we voted as our top 10 booths to visit at NAB Show this year for our podcast listeners. We actually have 12 here. Do you want to start at 12, Paul?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, we have... This is kind of in no particular order.
No, it's not in any particular order.
Okay.
No.
So we have Magewell, and we're going by hall here. So Magewell in South Hall Upper. Google's in South Hall Upper. We've got Facebook in South Hall Upper. And finally, we have LiveView in South Hall Upper. So those are our must visits in South Hall Upper. Headed to South Hall Lower, we've got Adobe, Microsoft,
/LinkedIn.
Telestream, where we're hopefully going to check out Wirecast, vMix, NewTek and the NDI Pavilion, as well as Blackmagic and Xkeys.
It's a lineup.
Yeah.
Big lineup down there.
And then we're finishing off with Central Hall, including Vimeo, and last but certainly not least, PTZ Optics.
Woohoo! So we didn't really put that in any specific order, but we did put out a vote to see what people think.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I'm not going to have access because you created the form I only can vote. So what can we remember? I know it was us and then vMix. We'd have to go back.
Maybe we can post we'll make a post on our Facebook page sharing the results. Because I would like to show that at some point. But yeah, that was really fun. A lot of people were interested in that.
Chris just asked us to post the list. We can definitely do that. I'll make a cute little graphic and we'll post the list, and then we can post the final results.
Cool. Well, that's our show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And if you are not coming to the NAB show, the good news is we're going to be streaming from there every day, bringing in industry professionals and guests all the time. So we'd love to have you guys join. We're going to try to do more interactive stuff like this today, where we're polling the audience, bringing in that kind of stuff. So excited about that. And that's our show.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
But go on.
Wow. I feel like it's been so long since we got like all the way in the studio to the podcast and successfully made a
That's
podcast.
sad. That is sad.
Oh my gosh. But we did. We successfully made